Hello, my name is Elaine Perlman, and I am the president of the Coalition to Modify the National Organ Transplant Act, as well as the executive director of Waitlist Zero. Our aim is to change the 90,000 long current kidney waitlist into a zero waitlist, and I believe the End Kidney Deaths Act will get us there. If we do nothing and go on with business as usual, we can expect for half the people on the current kidney waitlist to die before receiving a life-saving kidney. That's 45,000 Americans, and I know we can do far better than that. In fact, 25 Americans every single day die while waiting on the kidney wait list. All of them are healthy enough to get a kidney when they join the wait list, and it's really the kidney shortage that is killing them. I am an educator. I spent over 3 decades teaching elementary school, middle school, and high school, and most recently, I was a program director and professor at Columbia University, where I ran the Peace Corps Fellows program. It's a program for people who've completed Peace Corps service. If they wanted to become teachers, I taught them how to teach, and I supported them in their first 2 years of classroom teaching in New York City public schools. I did it for 6 years and loved the job. And then when my son was 19 years old, he decided to donate his kidney to a stranger, and it changed my life in a really big way. My son, A.B., met his recipient, Chris, who was 21 at the time, 3 weeks after the transplant on live television, on Good Morning America. As you can imagine, it was very emotional and very beautiful. And after the taping, I had a chance to talk to Chris's parents, and they shared with me that Chris had to drop out of high school due to lupus nephritis. It's a genetic condition, and that Chris had been on dialysis treatment for 5 years. Now, it's important to know that by year 5, only 40% of people on dialysis are still alive. Dialysis is really rough on the body. It deteriorates the heart very rapidly. And in fact, Chris's dad said that Chris's skin was gray when he received AB's kidney, that he was really dying. Well, when I met Chris 3 weeks after the transplant at the taping, Chris's skin was beautiful. He looked fantastic. That was 6 years ago. And since that time, Chris has finished high school. He's finished college. He wants to go to medical school, and he's a new father. The power of a transplant. It's absolutely beautiful. So 6 months after AB donated his kidney to a stranger, I donated my kidney to a stranger. Now, people who donate kidneys to strangers are super valuable in the transplant system. They can be miracle matches for hard-to-match people from around the country. Every time someone donates a kidney to a stranger, that kidney will ultimately go to someone at the top of the kidney wait list. That would be somebody who has no one to donate to them, someone most likely to die from the kidney shortage. And in fact, I launched what's called a kidney chain to maximize my gift. My kidney flew from New York City down to Georgia. In order to receive my kidney, that recipient in Georgia had to have someone who was willing to donate a kidney, but just wasn't a great match for them. But that person was a super match for someone in Oklahoma. So then the kidney flew from Georgia to Oklahoma, switcho changeo. Another kidney then went from Oklahoma to Washington State. That's 3 kidneys so far. And then the 4th kidney went to someone at the top of the kidney wait list, someone who is most likely to die from the kidney shortage. Now, the problem in the organ transplant world is really a classic Econ 101 supply and demand problem. The demand for kidneys is very high. We have 800,000 Americans currently in kidney failure, and that number is predicted to grow to 1 million Americans by 2030. So the demand is strong, and it's growing at a rapid rate. But on the supply side, we've had the same number of living kidney donors for the last 25 years. It hovers around 6,000 donors annually. Nothing anyone has done to this point has increased the number of living kidney donors. Now, of those 6,000 people who are donating kidneys annually, most are giving kidneys to people that they love. But every year, there are about 400 Americans who donate kidneys to strangers. Now, it's important to understand that living kidneys are the gold standard of kidney care because they last 2 times as long as deceased donor kidneys. They are amazing. Now, our plan with the End Kidney Deaths Act is to grow the number of people donating kidneys to strangers from the current 400 annually to 10,000 annually, with a 10-year pilot program that will provide for every American who donates a kidney to a stranger a refundable tax credit of $10,000 each year for 5 years, $50,000 in total. And we estimate that by year 10, we will have saved the lives of 100,000 Americans. Now, keep in mind that in the last decade, 100,000 Americans died on the kidney wait list. So after the End Kidney Deaths Act, we will potentially live in a country where no one dies while waiting for a kidney transplant. And that would be incredible. 100,000 people, that's as many people as fit in the largest football stadiums. It's an incredibly huge amount of people that will be saved by this law. In addition, we will also save up to $37 billion in taxpayer money. How can we save so much tax money? It's because right now we spend 1% of all tax money on kidney dialysis treatment for about 550,000 Americans. That's about 1% of all taxes. It's over $50 billion annually. It is a lot of money. It's about $100,000 per patient per year. And when we move someone from being on kidney dialysis to getting transplanted, the taxpayer saves around $500,000. So that's where the tax saving comes in. Very good to know that the National Organ Transplant Act was passed in 1984, and that law bans the compensation of organ donors. At the time of the bill's passage, the lead sponsor of the legislation stated, if we have a shortage of organ donors, the first thing we should put into place are tax credits for those donors. No one ever did it. We could have saved a whole lot of lives had we done it at the time, but we're really eager to get this bill to the finish line to save the lives of those that will definitely die without this legislation. Good to know that there have been multiple surveys of the American public, and in every single one, the majority has stated, yes, let's compensate kidney donors. So I know this is going to be a big hit with voters. Also good to know that kidney donation is safe, or doctors wouldn't do it. It's 3 times safer than having a baby. It's 10 times safer than having a knee replacement. It's safer than having an appendectomy. And in fact, living kidney donors live longer than the general population because only those in top health are approved. In fact, of 100 Americans who step forward to donate a kidney, only 2 actually donate. Most are medically disqualified. Also good to know, and not a big surprise, kidney donation is a whole lot of work. It's time-consuming, it's painful, and it's stressful work, and I believe it's morally important to pay people for difficult work. It takes up to 6 months to get evaluated. Then, of course, you have the surgery and the recovery. There's no way around it. It takes a ton of time. Obviously, involving pain and stress, it's a major surgery. Now, just to give you a sense of how difficult it is to find a living kidney donor, I'm friends with the Collins family. They're a Gold Star family. Their surviving child, Joanna, is dying of kidney failure. 32 people have come forward to donate to her, and none were healthy enough. It is really hard to find a kidney donor. Please help us pass the End Kidney Deaths Act. Call your representatives, your House representative, and your 2 senators. Let them know that you are a constituent who wants them to champion and co-sponsor the End Kidney Deaths Act so we can get this life-saving and tax-saving legislation to the finish line in 2025. And thank you.